In this video, I'm going to show you the account audit for PPC account we recently did for one of the prospects. Let's take a look. Let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Sergey. I've been managing Amazon ads for the last 7 years. Currently, I operate as a head of PPC department at Amazon aggregator, and also I run a consultancy firm, MarketPrime. Today, I'm going to show you the example of the PPC account audit we did for one of the brands recently. In this one, we found quite a lot of low-hanging fruits, so to say. So let's dive in. This specific audit is like a 100% in-depth, super advanced way to audit accounts. But in my experience, this approach can help you analyze 80+% of accounts. The first thing we found in this account, which was quite interesting, is the low utilization of sponsored report. Anyone who manages accounts needs to know what happens on the underlying levels of search terms. There are other reports that you can pull to understand your data better, like targeting report, purchase product report, advertised product report, hourly sales reports. All of these reports are available and super important. At least you should absolutely generate a search term report for your last 30 days, every 30 days, or even more frequently. On this example, we had the account where the report was generated 1 month ago, and before that, it wasn't really generated, right? If we talk about search term report, for example. So this is the first thing, not utilizing sponsored reports. So the second thing would be not optimizing the budgets correctly. On the snippet here, we have average time and budget utilization, and you can see that a lot of campaigns with some decent ROAS have utilization under 60%. A lot of these are close to 50%, and only a couple are close to 90%. And these are sorted by spend. So here we have the most spending campaigns, and obviously there are a lot of top spending campaigns that are running out about 2-3 p.m. and obviously not fulfilling to its maximum. This is the second thing we found in this account not really working good. The third thing was lack of competitive targeting outside of 35,000 in total spend for the period. Only 1,500 was in direct ASIN targeting. However, no, it was still important part of the advertising strategy, like targeting your direct competitors. And in this niche, we had a lot of competitors who should be targeted on a regular basis as well. Having a dedicated campaigns for your ASIN targeting is really, really important. This is another thing that we found that this brand wasn't really doing well, and also not optimizing them. Look at this ACOS, right? It's really, really high. The next thing here was not having a proper process for adding negative terms. For this brand, we saw that some terms were added into negatives, but there was no real process. When I was pulling this screenshot, I saw tons of search terms in automatic campaign that have ACOS higher than 80%, and most of them are actually higher than 100%, that are still getting impressions in our automatic campaigns. And my question is like, why? If you are segmenting your search terms, you should always be negating these types of search terms. And apparently this brand didn't do it in the past. So this is one big mistake in automatic campaign. And the same thing we noticed in broad match campaign, like less of a case here, but you can see still a lot of red, a lot of unoptimized search term. This is the case I see a lot of times in campaigns, where you have a lot of different campaigns created on the launch because you wanted to test everything, but you end up just throwing random nets of search terms in these campaigns. We saw a lot of times budgets are maxed out in the middle of the day. A lot of those maxed out budgets are targeting irrelevant search terms, right? So this is like a double mistake that we have seen in this account as well. For this specific account, we noticed the bid automation. I think there is nothing bad specifically about bid automation. Maybe it optimizes your time to manage the account. It's fine. But usually daily bid automation is not good, right? Bids were changed on a daily basis. Amazon just likes consistency a little bit more. Based on my experience over the last like 7 years, somewhere between weekly and maybe 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, this is one of the best periods to optimize your bids. On the next slide, I'm showing why it's bad, because you can see that sometimes your bid might be higher and you're getting a lot of impressions, a lot of sales and spend. But once automation cuts your bid until a certain level, which happened over here, you can see everything was cut off, right? And this campaign specifically was getting some decent sales in the first part of July and almost no sales in the second part of July, beginning of August. And you can see the bid never increased, right? Because bid automation didn't have a rule to increase the bid that was decreased. No one checking. That's why automation is not good. The next thing we found was the just general utilization of ad types. Everyone who watches my content knows that I'm a huge fan of sponsored products. And I think most brands should start with sponsored products and focusing on sponsored products. This is more established brand. This brand has been on Amazon for many, many years. They have a lot of branded searches. And I think they could try to expand a little bit outside of sponsored products. All the budget is utilized in sponsored brands. So a couple of things that I suggested here was be more aggressive with your sponsored brand and sponsored brand video ads, specifically at brand defense and branded terms. And also specifically on sponsored display, right? Try some sponsored display ASIN targeting, sponsored display ASIN defense, maybe some category targeting. 5 to 10% of the budget could be allocated for testing other ad types. Over here as well, we were looking at the match type utilization, and what we found is that there is like a lot of spend is concentrated in automatic campaigns, and even though the ACOS for automatic campaign is the lowest, we still see that phrase match and broad match are actually getting less and less spent. It's really important to not allocate such a huge portion of budget. 30% of budget is allocated to automatic campaigns. CPC for automatic campaigns is way lower than for exact phrase or broad. One might think it's a good thing, right? One might think I'm getting a lot of traffic, much cheaper, I'm getting more sales, but that's not true, right? If you look at exact versus auto, you can see they have exactly the same spend. Auto has slightly more sales, but we can say the same sales, but more than 2 times higher conversion rate. And on Amazon ads, conversion rate might be more important than ACOS. I think automatic campaigns could be optimized better. We just saw that with our search term analysis, where we saw there is a lot of search terms in automatic campaigns that are not being negated. And by doing this process, I think this brand could push more spend and more budgets to exact or phrase matches as well. All right, so I think we can now go to the next one, which is ASIN performance monitoring. We noticed that for a lot of ASINs, we have seen a lack of optimization. We have looked at the handful of ASINs with poor performance, and we have found quite a lot of them. You can see that more than 7 advertised products had the ACOS higher than the average in this account, and it was some decent spending. I think if there were more attention to the overall optimization techniques and also on the ASIN level data, I think this can be also avoided easily. So yeah, I think over here we can try to summarize all the things we found in this account. So one by one, it would be low utilization of sponsored reports, especially search term reports. Budgets are not being optimized, running out of budget in the middle of the day. Lack of direct competitor targeting, like specifically ASIN targeting campaigns. Lack of negative targeting. This is what is done in the account. The negative targeting is applied, but there are a lot of gaps that we found with our analysis as well. Automated bid optimization should be at least changed, or I would completely scrape it and implement some other optimization system. A very concentrated ad type utilization. Even though I love sponsored products, I think this specific brand can allocate 5 to 10% of budget to push sponsored brands and sponsored display. There is huge reliance on automatic targeting, which drives sales with lower ACOS, but needs to be adjusted and monitored better. And also we have seen that ASIN level performance apparently not being monitored, and a lot of ASINs might be optimized, paused, and that budget also can be reallocated. All right, so that has been my take on the account audits. We do this audits all the time, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna share more in the